Hey, Barb's babes, what's going on? I'm back again with this week's recap and review for the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is still, unfortunately, season 8, but we are on episode 16, which is entitled The Boiling Point. And I'm almost at my boiling point because, like I just said, we're still on season 8. It seems as though it's never ending. And I'm tired, but I'm going to finish this season strong with you guys because I owe that to you guys. But before we get into all of that, go ahead, hit that like button, please. And thank you. It helps my channel as far as visibility, and it helps attract new subscribers similar to yourself. So please go ahead, hit that like button for me down below. Also, while you're at it, hit the subscription button. If you are not a subscriber currently, be a Barb's babe. I mean, what could be better? Like, come on now. And also, let's keep the conversation going in the comments below after this premiere. Hit that notification bell too. All the things. And there is some very pertinent information in the description box below as far as my social medias, all of my links. I do have an Amazon storefront. I have an LTK. I have an Amazon wish list. Like I said, all my socials. And I have something extra special coming up for you guys too that you can partake in the next couple weeks. So I will keep you guys posted on that as well. But nonetheless, let's get into this recap and review, shall we? Because I do not intend on being up here for very long because this episode didn't really give much of anything, if I do say so myself. Okay. So if I do omit a couple parts, it's because I either didn't care, didn't write it down, it slipped my mind, whatever. This episode gave that. So I'm sorry. I'm going to try to make it entertaining, but we're grasping at straws here, y'all. I'm sorry. Nonetheless, Kiarna, Wendy, and Candiace, they are at the K Stewart experience. Very, very nice, very classy. That's my type of salon, beauty bar, wellness, health and beauty. It's my type of establishment. So very, very nice decor, very nice aesthetic going on in there, very professional, if I do say so myself. So they all are in there getting some laser treatments done. I believe Candiace got her coochie and Wendy got her pits lasered. I really want to get laser. I've been putting it off for so long, but I'm going to get it before the end of the year. I'm going to zap some of these areas because who likes shaving? Like, who wants to do that? Like, who wants to shave? Waxing is cool and all. I do get waxed down below, but it's just tedious. It's just tedious. So anyway, Candiace, she uses not having a wax as a way to not have do the dang with Chris. And although I understand that, I'm like, be careful, Candiace, because you know they will use anything you say against you. And I feel like, wait, did I write it down? I don't think I did, but they being the people that like to come at your neck every episode, I'm not going to say every other episode. Just be mindful of the things you say because they will take it and run with it. That's just my word of advice. I'm just saying. Wendy's talk show pilot is being filmed in a few weeks, and she's having difficulty finding a guest because they're either in LA or they're already signed to the news networks, and there could be the whole non-compete clauses all up in there. So she's having a hard time locking down a guest. I have checked out a couple episodes of her show. I'm not going to say that I've caught them all or that I've been like an avid watcher or anything like that. I did, of course, want to support. I'm subscribed to her channel and all that. It's just I haven't really made myself a consistent reoccurring person over there just yet. But if y'all haven't watched Dr. Wendy's channel, y'all should check it out for yourselves. Candiace also shares how she doesn't appreciate Robyn's word choice and saying, I think was this when she was talking about the whole defamation thing and like how she doesn't see that as that and all that stuff. I really am sick and tired of talking about the whole Candiace and Robyn drama of it all. I really, really am. I hate to say I'm tired of talking about how Candiace and Wendy didn't check on Kiarna, but I kind of am tired of talking about that too, because they talked about that a little bit in this scene. I love seeing these three ladies. I do. I 100% do, more than some other people on this show, of course. As you guys already know, if you guys watch my reviews, you'll know who I'm talking about. But I just didn't really understand why we were seeing it. Like, it just didn't really give much. So moving on. Grace is off to college. And Gizelle is taking her, of course. So they're up early, packing everything, including the lotion. The lotion is going. I don't know why, but that made me laugh. I'm not even gonna lie. And they say their goodbyes. The girls do, I should say, the twins and Grace. And we get, the clips over the years. We did see the girls, including Grace, grow up on the show. So, of course, we have numerous clips of them, doing family activities and all the good stuff. And I say all the good stuff because this is the only stuff that Gizelle gives that's good. Hey, I'm just calling like I see it. So we do get that. We also get a solo confessional from Grace. And we learned that she learned from Gizelle that she can do anything, including having kids, having a hustle, all of the things. She can do all the things and still be good. That's what she learned from her mama. I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm not going to say anything negative. Because again, this is the only time we see Gizelle being genuine or her showing any redeeming qualities about herself. So if that is the impact that she showed her had on her daughters, her oldest daughter in this situation, I ain't got nothing bad to say. Cool, fine, everything is good. So she's dropping her off, or they're heading to the airport, and then they're gonna go down and she's gonna, set her up and everything. Of course, Jamal is gonna be picking them up from the airport and all that. So that was that. Robyn's house, over at Robyn's house. I will say also, positive note, and I'm gonna be real positive for I would say 75% of this review, because Robyn's house, y'all, is very nice. It is very, very nice. It's laid out. I like the aesthetic going on despite the grass being thirsty. It's very nice. I can't take that from her. So Sharice and Ashley, they come over and Robyn's laid out a nice little sushi and charcuterie and all that. She laid a nice spread out. So they grab some bites, they grab a little drinky drink, and they sit around and discuss vaginal massages, which I don't even remember how that came up exactly. I do remember Ashley saying that Yes, I believe Dylan was a bit under the weather. She was up, taking him, I guess, to the doctors and stuff. So I think that's how it came up. She's saying, like, at this point, I just need a massage and a house call. And Sharice chimes in to say that she's also had a house call massage before, and it went well until the massage therapist offered her a vaginal massage, and she was like, how about absolutely not? And this kind of goes in line with the whole conversation that we were having a couple episodes ago, where Ashley called Sharice out for being the type that she would see, getting a little, taken care of by the opposite sex. And I also agreed with that. I'm sorry. And it wasn't even any shade. Trust me, I'm the last person that needs to lie about being shady. If I'm gonna throw some shade out there, I'm gonna throw it out there and I'm gonna own it. I'm not being shady when I say that. I'm just saying that Sharice is a woman of a particular age and she's single and she's got a coin. So if she wants to not even call in a favor, but I could see certain things happening, y'all. That's all I can say. And I don't mean any malice I'm not trying to be malicious at all when I say that. So anyway, Ashley, she's so messy for opening up the conversation after that with talking about Karen and Vernon, knowing that Charisse is the last person on Karen's list of friends, but the first person on her list for non-friends. Like, I don't know why but it's Ashley, so I wasn't that surprised. Charisse announces her crab boil, and she's thinking of inviting everybody to include Jacqueline because they have formed this new budding friendship. And we know at this point that the last time we saw Jacqueline, her and Mia, oil and water wasn't mixing well, was not good. So that's where they are with that. And I believe Ashley and Robyn both say, like, okay, that's a good idea. You should do that. That's cool. Am I the only person? I know I'm not, because I heard other people say it, so I don't even know why I said that phrase what I'm about to say with that opener. But I definitely clued in on Charisse referring to Candiace as or not even as she referred to Candiace as an individual that she's cool with, not friend, because Robyn started to come off and say, oh, friend or whatever. And Charisse quickly let her know, like, yeah, someone I'm cool with. And I clocked that because what do you mean by that, Charisse? Like, why? Because last time I checked, Candiace refers to you as a friend or whatever. So definitely clued in on that. And it kind of made more sense to me today. I feel like Charisse refers to Candiace that way because since she is such close friends with the GBs, that's who she has her allegiance with in this whole cast. So because of that, I feel like Candiace and the GBs, we know that they're on very unstable footing right now. We know that this side don't see it for this side, don't see it for this side, don't see it for that side. We know all that. So I feel like Charisse doesn't close that friendship circle all the way with Candiace, because at this point in time, if she did that and let's say Gizelle isn't too keen on that, then there's her link to the show broken right in half, and we probably won't see her anymore. We know if Charisse don't want anything more than to be on the show, the next best thing is at least being a friend in her eyes. So I think that she kind of keeps Candiace, I don't want to say at bay, but again, she kind of keeps her slightly at an arm's distance because she needs to show Gizelle and freaking Robyn and these people on this side, she needs to show them that at the end of the day, y'all are my friends, y'all are the ones that I support in all this and stuff like that. And Candiace, like, we're cool, I entertain her or whatever, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, these are my friends over here. I hope I'm making sense by that, but that's kind of why I think that she referred to Candiace in that manner. So yeah, that's really it. Versus Jacqueline, they've spent a lot of time one-on-one, I guess, first and foremost. But I also think that she would refer to Jacqueline as a friend before she refers to Candiace as a friend, because Jacqueline was Mia's friend. And in this equation, Mia isn't really anybody to piss off. Like, no one cares if Mia's pissed off that you're friends with her ex-friend or whatever. But if you piss off Gizelle in this equation, somebody that unfortunately holds more weight on the show, that can cause you some issues, So that's how I see that. Moving on, we see Nneka getting glam for the crab boil. Don't really care too much about that. I was so grateful that this makeup artist, however, did find her the right matching foundation. Thank God on that. she's moving forward with her IUI process. And the only thing I really want to touch on with this scene is the cultural scrutiny due to them not having conceived naturally. That's kind of the road that she's headed down at this point. And I don't even, they need a little assistance right now with the whole conception process, which I don't think is bad. I don't judge anybody. I think that's totally okay if that's what medically you need to do in order to get to the next step, which is parenthood. Nothing wrong with that. However, I do know in certain cultures that, as she said, that's, frowned upon, or she's going to be judged perhaps because of that. And I found this very coincidental because if you guys watch the RHOP, the Real Housewives of New York reboot, you will see that on there, this is something that Gizelle actually dealt with as well, where she didn't tell her mom for over 2 years. Her boys were like 2 years old on the show at that time when she finally told her mom that she did IVF, I believe, in order to conceive them. So because she didn't want to tell her because that was so frowned upon in their culture or whatever. Like that's not the way to do things. So I just really, I hate that. I hate that stigma. I as much as I don't see it for Aneka right now, I hate that that's even something that she has to ponder about and has to even think twice about right now, because that should be the furthest thing from your mind. And anybody that truly supports you wouldn't pass that type of judgment on you. I don't give a about culture or not. Like, that's not cool to press those views upon anybody else. Like, I don't like that. So, but that's all I wanted to say about that. Moving on. Gizelle pays a visit to Karen, who's in her domestic cookie baking ensemble. Gizelle, like I already said, she had just dropped Grace off to college or whatever. So did she give Karen some vitamins to help with were those vitamin supplements? She gave her something to help with her, she has the buildup in her I don't even remember. She has not cardiovascular, heart, the plaque buildup. So Gizelle gave her something with that, which I'm like, okay, that was nice. It sucks because I pride myself on being an objective person, an unbiased person. I like to just call things how I see it and not put my own biases on it or anything like that. So, like I said in the beginning, 75% of this episode, I can't say anything bad about Gizelle. She was showing up, being the super mom. Although I did want to see some tears fall when she dropped Grace off or whatever, because I feel like she just is sticking so tight to this. Like, Gizelle is this brick wall behind me, actually. She don't want nothing. She's not trying to show any types of emotions. The closest we get to that is when we see these scenes with her children. So I wish she would just scale back on that, and maybe some more of us would actually see it, maybe even an ounce for her, if she shows us a little bit of those human, characteristics, a little emotion here and there, please. But going back to this scene at Karen's house. So Karen's baking her some cookies and all that. And they talk about their daughters leaving the nest and going off to college. We know that Karen is her closest support system with this whole matter because Karen was in this boat not too many years ago with Raven. Gizelle requests Karen's attendance to Charisse's event. Karen said, hell no. She didn't really say that, but she did say that Ray is allergic to crabs all of a sudden. And I say all of a sudden because we got a couple flashbacks during this episode where Karen was present when crabs were being eaten. So now all of a sudden he's formed this allergy, which, fun fact, you guys, if you didn't know, you can form allergies like that at any time in your life. So I'm not saying that is so far-fetched, but what I am saying is far-fetched is the fact that just a few years ago, you guys were down there eating the crabs, and then now, coincidentally enough, that Charisse is having this go on in her house, you can't be anywhere in the general vicinity. Y'all know I go up for the Grand Dame, so I'm not by any means trying to judge her. I totally get it, but Karen can't ever just be like on some I don't want to come because I don't like her type of stuff. She needs to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. So I understood what she was doing in that moment, and I'm glad that she stuck to her guns at the end of the day. So whatever. I wouldn't have went over there either because, again, Aneka, we don't go to the homes of people that we're not cool with, that we just had issues with. You see how that works? This is how you should have handled that situation a couple episodes ago. But that's just my 2 cents. So Gizelle also tells Karen that Jacqueline was invited, as I said before. And Karen wishes them well, but she doesn't know if that's going to go so well. Of course, Gizelle's messy, so she's totally 10 toes down, ready to see what unfolds at Charisse's house. So moving right along, Robyn shows up first to the crab boil. Charisse also calls out Karen about the whole crab allergy excuse, like I just said. And it was really funny because it was so on brand with Karen. It just really gave me a tickle. I'm not even gonna lie. So, you know what didn't give me a tickle and made me make this exact face? Was when Robyn went to go get the door, but then seen it was Candiace and was like, "Oh, I'm not getting that." Like whenever Robyn goes out of her way to be, I don't even want to call it petty, but to continue these issues with certain people or whatever. She does this kind of with Karen sometimes too. I feel like it's just so corny. Like, you didn't have to do all that. You seem bothered. You seem more bothered than she does. But let a lot of people in these Bravo freaking pages and all that tell it, and on these blogs tell it, it's Candiace that's more pressed. I'm like, who goes out of there? Whatever. Or she could have just been like, oh, okay, whatever. But she was all, oh, I'm definitely not getting that, and kind of scurried off. Like, can't nobody, and listen to me, y'all, can't nobody on this earth, make me scurry off like a little mouse like that. Make them even think for 2 seconds that I am worried about them. If I say I'm not worried about you, trust and believe I am not worried about you. And I'm not even saying that as a flex as much as I'm saying that to kind of just be transparent with you guys and tell you guys a little bit about my character. I would not have gave 2 shits. Okay. Her reaction showed that she was more bothered than she actually says out of her mouth. Anyway, what else we got? Not much. I'm kind of rolling. I'm rolling through this. Jacqueline and Mia. So everybody starts to show up, and when Jacqueline comes in, I was kind of like, I don't really know how I felt about the way she was talking about everything between her and Mia. And by no means am I saying that she should be holding her in the highest regard or trying to have the utmost respect for her, when last season Mia treated her best friend like on the ground. But I was just like, Jacqueline, don't even feed into. It's more about them being Gizelle and Robyn and all that. It's more about them than it was about her being messy. It's about them being messy. Don't give them. They're just hungry, like hungry little lap dogs waiting for a bone. Like, give them no bones, please. Please do us a favor. Give them no bones. So, because look what happened. Gizelle couldn't wait to mention the whole Mia effing a rapper rumor of it all. And I'm like, Mia, I hope you saw that once this season aired and everything. I hope you saw that because she's not your friend. I mean it when I say Gizelle is nobody's friend for real. Because she knows where you guys stand. She knows that the last time that we all saw y'all together on screen, it did not end well between y'all. So if you're somebody who calls myself a friend, why are you now talking or bringing a rumor to somebody who I'm not on good terms with right now, who could then possibly continue to spread said rumor or talk about me behind, like, why would you do that? But I'm not really surprised because who am I talking about right now, you guys? Gizelle. Very on brand. So anyway, you know what was more tired than that though, y'all? Aneka showing up in that fucking Party City. I'm not the only one who sees it at this point. Ass, sash, and crown. Like how oh my God, that was so corny. That's probably the corniest part of this entire episode for me. It wasn't Robyn turning around and running away. It wasn't Karen lying about something that was easily dispelled. It wasn't anything other than her showing up in that goddamn sash and crown. Like why did I even make it back from the trip with you? It's corny as hell. She probably has it hanging up in her freaking room or something. It's probably in her foyer or whatever. Foyer. It probably is. Corny ass girl, man. Anyway. But what can you expect from somebody who comes on a show and doesn't have a storyline? Moving on. Giselle is so desperate. She had asked me about things between her and Jacqueline. Yeah, so then they all sit down. It's time to eat some crabs, some unseasoned crabs. And because Gizelle is not trying to let up off this, she's trying to cause, a stir between other people. Never in her own life. She brings up again now to Mia things between her and Jacqueline. And I was in love with Mia's answer, y'all. I can't even lie. She immediately shut that down. And I was glad. She said, yeah, so we still have some stuff to work through, but that's not to be discussed in front of you bitches. You nosy bitches at this table is basically what she was implying, and to me at least. And that shows that, again, there is a history there. There was a genuine friendship there. Not that I was questioning it at this point. I think with a lot of the interviews last season and the things that were divulged and everything that we saw on social media and stuff like that, I think that a lot of us know that they were genuinely friends for a long time. So I'm glad that they both, Mia, especially in this situation, someone that has showed in the past that she doesn't always make the best decisions, that she doesn't really regard people, things in the best manner. I'm glad that she showed their, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Ooh, I'm glad that she showed their relationship, friendship, that much respect to not discuss it in front of these women who could possibly cause more of a divide between you two. I was glad to see that she said that. So instead, Charisse offers them to go down to her champagne room, which I really didn't. I know exactly what area they were in, and because I understand how those houses are set up, the multi-level houses there's a lot of those types of houses over there in the DMV area, those styles. I wouldn't necessarily call that a champagne room, but hey, I'm not going to Charisse's house. Ashley should have got to Charisse's house. I don't feel like Ashley got the most huge mansion that she, saw, like her or anything like that. But I do feel like Ashley could have got something similar to Sharice's, very manageable, but it wasn't super tight. I saw multiple eating areas. I saw at least three eating areas. It looked like she had a second deck patio. Yeah, she should have got that, but that's just my 2 cents, y'all. Anyway, so they go downstairs to her champagne room or whatever to talk. And the conversation starts off with Mia saying how she was going through stuff so much to the point that she had enough. And Jacqueline's whole thing is, that's cool and all, but at least have enough respect for me that you tell me that. So I'm not just, here like question mark. Because I think at this point, the language they were using kind of hinted at that they had talked within the last 2 months or something like that, or prior to that, and they had like a second falling out. Like they did talk after everything last season and all that, and then they may have been rebuilding or in a better space, and then because of something 2 months ago that caused them to drift apart again. So that, or at least that's what I got from it, y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments. So because of that, Mia lets Jacqueline also know that she was really put off by what she said last season about how Mia needs more dick or whatever. And that's also where I got to turn to Jacqueline and be like, girl, by no means am I saying that you were the main culprit in all this, because Mia carried on last season and acted a whole donkey when it came to y'all's friendship. However, I do feel like Jacqueline probably shouldn't have said that. And it goes back to what I said before. You got to be very mindful about what you say to certain people in this group, in front of certain people in this group, because they will take it and run with it. So she was just kidding when she said that, but someone like, I don't know, Gizelle may have heard that and then used it against Mia later on. That would have been my thing more so. But I think it was more about, or Mia made it more about like being respectful and, protecting like Gordon, I guess, who, side note, she doesn't even know how old he is, or I don't know if she genuinely doesn't know how old he is, or she's trying to like save face for some weird reason, when I don't really see why you'd need to do that this late in the game. We can clearly see the age disparity between you guys, but still, I just don't see why you don't know his age, but she does. Like, come on now, Mia. Crazy. But what can I expect? This is Mia. So she takes it a bit further and she says, what was truly deep down inside bothering me, I think, is in relation to the situation, trigger warning, was in relation to the situation that we heard about that happened to Mia when they were younger, at the hands of Jacqueline's ex-boyfriend, I believe. Yes. We learned about this at Karen's PAVE event. PAVE event, I believe, is the organization. I hope I'm not saying that wrong or whatever. I believe it's PAVE though. I can understand that again. And I could also understand how sometimes people don't know how to channel those emotions or address those emotions, and sometimes it gets the best of us in certain situations. I'm glad that she's at least doing the work and is at the point where she's able to say that out loud and be truthful with herself and with Jacqueline and everything. I feel like that's the first step with that. So and I was really glad that Jacqueline automatically received that. She automatically knew what Mia was about to say. And they both kind of reflected on their behaviors with that, with Jacqueline saying like, yeah, I feel like I always kind of, and I'm paraphrasing here, y'all, not verbatim, she kind of holds some guilt and she let certain things slide with Mia in the past because of said guilt. And, you know, I really genuinely hope that they're able to repair things, y'all, because it's obvious that these two ladies had a genuine friendship. There's again, a lot of history there. If they're able to salvage it, if they're able to repair it, I wish them the best. Being someone that has had a best friend for over 20 years, I couldn't imagine, you know, us. We've only ever had one significant time period where we were not friends, so to speak. And I can't imagine not going back and I can't imagine her not having her in my life at this point. It was definitely worth the repair. It really was. And that was and by no means am I comparing my relationship with my best friend to their relationship, but what I am saying is I could see the emotion. I can see that they did at one point genuinely care about each other enough to where it's worth at least attempting to rebuild. Maybe Jacqueline, maybe she needs to come to a therapy session with Mia, maybe. Because Mia did say like a lot of the focus of her current therapy sessions has been Jacqueline has came up and everything. And Jacqueline did Jacqueline did assure Mia that she didn't know about this situation. She didn't keep it a secret. She didn't know until 2 years later, because Mia's one of the sorest points for Mia was feeling as though Jacqueline kept this as a secret. And I was glad that she got at least that solace in that moment, and hopefully she's able to do what isn't needed at this point to repair that, because she was coming at her real crazy all last season, if you don't remember. But anyway, let me wrap this up. They don't hug because Jacqueline's not ready for that. But anyway, back upstairs, Charisse brings up the disconnect between freaking Candiace and Robyn. Again, y'all, I said I don't care about this. I really don't. So I wish that they would respect me and not talk about it on here anymore. Who am I? I ain't nobody. But I really do feel like that. Like, and because at the end of this, Robyn said Robyn and Candiace don't even need to speak again. And all right, fine. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. At the end of the day, though, one of you guys then doesn't need to be on the show, ultimately, because this is an ensemble cast and we see how fractured y'all's group is right now, and it's very much not enjoyable to watch. So I do feel like one of you guys then shouldn't be on the show. However, I'm not going to keep talking about this, or I'm needing them to not keep bringing this up, because I don't want to keep talking about it when one or both of you guys is so against rebuilding that, repairing that. But what I will say is Candiace speaks up first, and she says that the current thing is Robyn shared some text messages with a unnamed blogger / podcaster. And these were text messages between her and Robyn, and she did that to make her look crazy. And Robyn's like, no, that's not the case at all. It was done to explain why we aren't friends right now. Y'all, I'm the last person to defend Robyn. I really am. And maybe I feel this way because I'm just trying to wrap this season up with a bow and put it on the shelf until I give up about it again, which may not happen ever, to be honest with you guys, because this season has not been seasoning the way it should be. But I can say, I can see this being maybe a bad judgment call on Robyn more than it was done out of malice. And I say that because, one, we don't know what the text messages entail. And I feel like that's nothing to really lie about at this point in time. Does Robyn have a Twitter? I mean, I guess she does, but I just don't see, I don't know. I don't see Robyn going out of her way to, I don't see her going out of her way to freaking try to expose or throw gasoline onto this fire between them. I don't. I think she's perfectly fine with acting like Candiace doesn't exist, which is a whole other issue, y'all. I'm not saying that that's not an issue. Don't get me wrong there. But in this case, I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it was done like that. But I also see Candiace's point where it's like, at the end of the day, those are private texts between us. That should have never happened. And I do feel like a lot of these ladies kind of abide by that code, so to speak, where it's like, we don't go to bloggers, we don't sell stories, we don't expose each other to the media or anything like that. And I feel like that should be the standard a lot more. But I feel like it wasn't done I don't know. Y'all let me know what you guys think about that. And again, I'm not defending Robyn when I say that at all. But in her confessional, Candiace has deep voice, which is, one of her people, one of her little freaking spiders, I guess you could say. Game of Thrones reference. And this person, I should say, on the phone says that one of the girls in their group chat got a message saying Robyn shared their text to show Candiace was two-faced. So that is exactly what basically Candiace reiterated to the group. Because Robyn doesn't agree with that, and because Candiace is not trying to back down, of course, they start going back and forth. They start going at it to the point that Charisse starts banging on the table, kind of similar to last season when she was banging on the table. I guess that's her thing. I don't know. I feel like this was Charisse more. It was either Charisse being drunk or Charisse trying to make a moment and make sure she gets casted again next season as a friend, at least, because we haven't really seen too much of Charisse this season, y'all, which I'm very glad about. But we haven't seen too much of her, so maybe she knew she needed to make a little bit of a splash so that the network didn't forget about her. I don't know, one of those reasons. Nonetheless, she starts banging on the table. She's sick of this. She's tired of it. Then she gets up and goes outside. I'm like, wait, this is your house. This is your event. But whatever. I guess she needed a moment. Candiace gets up. She goes in the kitchen. She's upset. She gets her triangle out. Aneka goes to check on her. Ew, gross. Go back over there. Go home, Roger. No one asked you to be here. And Kiana checks on her too, which was nice. But she's done with it. Sidebar, did you see her open? I think she was looking for a water, but it was just so funny. She had the fridge open. I was like, kids, what are you in the fridge? It was a lot going on in that moment because Robyn was still at this table popping shit. And Candiace was like, Candiace, I don't even know why. I understand why Candiace was there, of course, but she didn't truly want to be there. I feel like she really didn't. Because, by the way, y'all, everybody was in attendance except for Karen and Wendy. So I always feel like Candiace probably feels odd in these situations. Kiana is there, but you guys know. Charisse comes back inside. Candiace again, she says her goodbyes and she's out the door. And that's basically where it ends. Charisse comes in, she apologizes. Again, the crabs were not seasoned at all, which is a waste of crabs. And I love animals, y'all. I do. I'm not an activist or anything like that necessarily, but if you're going to I feel like it should be against the code of nature to unalive an animal and not do it justice by at least making sure it tastes good going into the body. And to taste good, y'all already know, what do we need? Seasoning. And we need a lot of it. So to see that was missing in this equation was just such a waste. Such a waste. Perfectly good crabs wasted because we couldn't even enjoy them because they didn't really give too much. Terrible. Anyway, y'all, this was my recap and review for episode 16 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Please let me know what you thought of my commentary as well as this episode in the comments below, you guys. I will be back with the next one, which is unfortunately still not the finale. I guess we are going to get a bit of the whole fight between Kiarna and Ashley's friend, who I don't care to even say her name because she's just that irrelevant. We're going to get that next week, as well as the fashion show, Gizelle and Ashley's fashion show. I'm hoping that's like the episode before the last episode, because again, we are dragging at this point. That'll be 17, 18. So we're going to have at least 18 episodes this season, plus however much reunion we get. Y'all, it's just too much. Anyway, y'all, again, don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.